Hey guys, what's going on? It's Link here. Welcome to my very first Splatoon 3 video. If you guys enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out a lot since I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And when we do reach that goal, I'll more than likely give away a copy of Splatoon 3 or a Nintendo eShop card. Thank you so much if you do, but with that being said, let's get right into the video. So the thing that I want to talk about is pure speculation. However, based on a couple pictures, and trust me, it's a handful, I think this might be the case, but I could be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure most of you guys that come across this video and you guys play private battles and or are competitive or whatever, I think you guys are going to agree that this particular thing, I hope that they actually add. So what I'm talking about is the following. So in splash tags, these things right here, they offer a certain thing that caught my eye that a lot of people, I think, might have seen it too, and maybe it caught their attention. So this particular splash tag doesn't have it, but this one does. Down here where my arrow is, you can see that there's a little number, right? And now these are just random numbers in a sense. However, they more than likely they remind you of like what people do in Splatoon 2 where they put their Discord number or whatever, but that caught my eye because of that, and I was curious as to what that was. But then if you go on to their website, at Splatoon 3's website, it says player names and splash tags. Residents of Splatsville won't step or swim outside with a splash tag. They function like a business card does for us humans. In the midst of battle or on a job or even in the plaza, Inklings and Octolings will have their splash tags ready. And then this is the part that was really interesting. Nicknames. You'll need to pick a nickname when registering your splash tag. This is different from the user nickname you have on your Switch. See, currently right now, when we want to switch our name in Splatoon, we just switch our names on our Switch, and then it just changes automatically. But apparently that won't be the case for Splatoon 3. In Splatoon 3, you have to pick a nickname in the game. Of course, they'll let you put one yourself, but then you have to pick that. And then it also says that your nickname can be updated, in other words, changed, but you'll have to wait a bit before changing it again. It also states that you will get an ID number that will help you identify you to other players. In other words, people will be able to tell that that's you based on that little number. And that number is that little thing right there, by the way. So your nickname can be used by somebody else, as it states here. And in Splatoon 3, that was the case too. If you knew a popular Splatoon streamer or YouTuber, you could use their name in your game because it allowed you to change it. Seems like you'll be able to do the same thing again. However, you'll be able to tell whether or not that's the actual YouTuber or streamer based on their ID number, assuming you memorize it. So it does let you change your name, but you're going to have to wait a bit. Now, this is super important because it gets you thinking, like, why are they doing that? Why do you have to put a nickname within the game and register it, and then you can't just change it whenever you want? It's really odd. I'm not quite sure why they're doing that, but at the same time, it led me to do a little bit more research within these videos, and then I noticed a little something. So it lets you play regular battles, private battles, and what's the other one? Anarchy battles or whatever. It lets you play with friends, and it also shows you that you can invite your friends directly from here into the game so that you can play turf war in all these modes, right? So I was like, how does it go down with private battle though? Because that's a little bit different. Do you still need to add people into your friends list when they're not already there to play, or how's this going to work? And I assume you did, because Splatoon 3 makes it that way. Splatoon 2, excuse me, you have to add people as a friend in order to play, assuming you're the host. If you're not the host, you just jump into the hostess lobby. But if you're not, you don't have to worry about it. But if you are, you have to add everybody. And it's really annoying when you're a streamer because you have to add a lot of people, and it constantly forces you to back out, go to your friends list, add them, jump back in, and then after a while your friends list gets full and you have to delete some and then re-add some. So I was wondering, I'm like, well, what are these little icons on the top over here where my arrow is? Then I realized, I'm like, okay, so the first one is to pick a mode. Clearly, you can tell in all these different pictures they're on the first one. So I was like, all right, dope. The second one is the battle sheet thing, or whatever, the battle stat. So I'm like, all right, cool. You can see your battle stats in here. That's nice. And then the last two were a little bit different because I'm like, well, they're off when you're in here, but then I assume they're off because you're about to be ready for a match, so you don't need to check your messages or whatever that may be. I don't know what the second one is, but then I hovered over private battles, right? And then this one, they're all on in private battles. So I'm like, okay, interesting. So they're all on in private battles, and when you jump into the match, the last two turn off, which is a little bit weird. So maybe you can jump into your friends directly from there, or maybe send invites that way. But then on top of that, I noticed that in here, this one remains on, and I don't know what that is. At first I was like, well, that's a little training dummy. Maybe it's to go to the training arena or whatever. But then I was like, that's not it, because you're in the background right here for this particular screenshot. They're already there. It's just on the opposite side. So you just press B and it'll close this down, and then that's it. And on the top right, you get the option to either whatever, let's assume it's read messages and send messages, right? Because again, this is all speculation. You get the option to send and read messages. Maybe for some reason within the game, somehow, by clicking this option, you'll be allowed to add people as a friend within the game based off of their little ID codes. Now, if you've ever played Pokemon Unite allows you to add friends through the game and have a friends list within the game outside of your actual real friends list, making it so that you don't fill up your friends list and have to do this awkward friend code situation, because let's face it, nobody likes it. But what if this game actually allows you to do that? I kind of hope it does. I don't know what these other options are, honestly. Maybe they are. Maybe the last one is friends. I mean, it's two squids next to each other. Maybe it is friends. If it is, it would be kind of weird that it lets you see your friends list directly through the game, which is a little bit odd. I know it lets you see your friends playing here, right? But then there's also that other tab, and they're not hovering on that tab. This just pops up in this one. So I hope that this is the case. Fingers crossed. I don't want to use friend codes anymore. I am a streamer, and if you do private battles, it just gets way too chaotic. I hope it's just IDs, and you know, just copy paste those IDs directly into here, and then you have a friends list that way, and then you can just add people. So fingers crossed, guys. I hope this is the case. And yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys in the next one.